Hey everybody, this is Kennedy Hawk from the MCM team. We are covering a One Piece TCG deck today on the MCM podcast channel. In case you missed our previous podcast episode, we are now Marvel Champions and more. We're covering all the card games that we like, Krim, myself, Attercop, and Hone. So today I'm talking about a deck for One Piece from the OP04 meta, all about my favorite character, Zoro. So let's get into it. This deck revolves around Zoro's ability, Dawn X1, or Dawn times 1. Your turn, give all characters on your side plus 1000 power. He has this awesome ability to make even really cheap, small characters buff up and become really strong, really pushing a rush check into your meta. The current OP04 meta is pretty slow. OP04 just came out. There's a lot of really slow leaders like Crocodile, like Queen, like Rebecca, that really like to take the game at a slower pace and start playing their power moves on turns 4, 5, and 6. But with a Zoro deck, you can still win on turns 3 about 3 is usually about the fastest you can win, which would be a little bit insane. But it can happen, and we can really make those players honest by forcing them to play a somewhat defensive early game. So let's go through the deck card by card. We're going to start with our leader selection, Zoro. So he's a red leader with 5 life from OP01. Like we already said, his ability is place 1 Dawn on him, and on your turn, all your characters will gain plus 1000 power. Going into our 1-drops, we have a 1-drop Izo. From OP03, this is a Whitebeard searching card. So look at the top 5 cards of your deck, reveal up to 1 card with Whitebeard pirates in its types other than Izo, and add it to your hand. Then place the rest in the bottom of your deck in any order. And there are enough searchers in this deck that any order really matters. We're going to include 4 copies of Izo. I'm going to include 4 copies of one cost Thatch. And this might not be the best card, but it's a really good card for Zoro. A 1-cost card that is searchable by Izo, activate main once per turn. This character gains plus 2000 power during this turn. Then place this character in your trash at the end of the turn. Really, really strong. So just with the Dawn on Zoro and activating Thatch's ability, you can poke for 5. That's going to hit most leaders pretty early on or force them to be honest and use a counter card. If you put 1 Dawn on him and 1 onto Zoro, you're going to get to 6k. Generally, I'll use this ability once I get my board already wide, and I'm going to discard him to play another unit anyway. So the downside of the ability doesn't really affect me. But really great card, really great for aggro. We're going to include OP01 Nami. Same thing as Izo, but for Straw Hat Crew. So that's going to let us draw Straw Hat events and Straw Hat characters. 4 more copies. I'm going to put in 4 copies of OP04 Sanji. He is a 1-drop 3000 power character with 1000 counter. Straw Hat Pirate straight. You could use Sunny, the promo, but that's a little bit more expensive. So we're going to put the common Sanji in there instead. Next, we're going to include 4 copies each of Makino and Otama. These are 2000 counter characters that cost 1. They're also really good characters to play in their own right. So Makino, when you play her, you're able to activate her, rest her, to give another red character with a cost of 1, 3000 power. That can make Nami be able to poke face. That can make Sanji or someone like that be able to poke against Whitebeard, which is really, really strong. On top of that, this card is so strong that if your opponent doesn't have a lot of weenie or small characters on the board, they're going to have to waste a swinging into Makino, because if they leave her on the board and she gets to activate more than once, your game is probably settled. We've also got 4 copies of Otama from OP01. Give one of your opponent's characters minus 2000 power during your turn. This lets you trade, right? Or you don't even trade because you don't take damage back. But this lets you swing with really small units into bigger units. And generally just gets comboed with Pistol to take out 8k units. All right, so 4 copies of each of those. We're also going to include 4 copies of Buggy to round out our 1-drops. So this is another searching character. This character cannot be KO'd while battling slash attribute characters, which I've honestly never paid attention to before. But the important part, on play, look at the top 5 cards of your deck, reveal up to 1 red event card and add it to your hand. Then place the rest on the bottom of your deck in any order. Again, really, really strong. You want to have those events in your hand. You want constantly to be playing a card that also puts a card back into your hand. So that rounds out all our 1-drops. But we're not done talking about 1-drops yet, because we have our last searcher. We have Curly Dadan, the OP02 uncommon. 2-cost character with 3000 power on play. Look at the top 5 cards of your deck. Reveal up to 1 red character with a cost of 1 or less and add it to your hand. Then place the rest on the bottom of your deck in any order. So the other 28 cards we have on the page here, Curly can fish up. So Curly is almost never going to miss when you play them. So really, really strong character that helps you build hand advantage or board advantage by flooding the board. All right, let's move on to our events that Buggy's going to be able to fish up. I include 4 copies of the Starter 01 Jet Pistol. It's a main action KO one of your opponent's characters with a power of 6,000 or less. That gets used quite a lot to take care of blockers. Got to be careful against Navy blockers. A lot of them can't be KO'd by your card effects, so that can be a little annoying. But in general, is really good for clearing threats out of the way. Can also be comboed with Otama to hit things that cost 8k or have 8k power. I include 2 copies of Guard Point. Your leader or one of your characters gains plus 3,000 power. I generally never waste this on a 1-drop. I want to waste this on a finisher or keeping my last life alive, or use it in other ways with some events that we're going to talk about here in a minute. So 2 copies of Guard Point. These 6 events, Jet Pistol and Guard Point, all have the Straw Hat trait. So Nami can fish those up, she can fish Sanji up, and some characters we're going to round our deck out with. We've got 2 copies of Whitebeard Pirates, another searcher. Look at the top 5 cards of your deck for a Whitebeard Pirates character. That can find you an Izo, that can find you a Thatch, really, really strong. And then we've got 4 copies of Fire Fist. You may discard 1 event from your hand, KO one of your opponent's characters with a power of 5,000 or less, and one of your opponent's characters with a power of 4,000 or less. This can be really, really strong and backbreaking against games that have lots of really low power blockers, right? We're talking about the new Black Dressrosa blockers. If Sabo hasn't just entered the board, a lot of the blue blockers, and combined with Otama, you can really take out some threats. I include 1 copy of Diable Jambe. I'd like to fit more, but right now that's just what I could fit in my deck. But this is also a really good card. Choose your leader or one of your characters with the Straw Hat Crew trait. During your turn, your opponent cannot activate blockers when that leader or character attacks. So that is really, really strong for poking that last damage with Zoro. I've got 2 copies of Monkey D. Luffy from Starter 01. This is a rush character, cost 5, 6,000 power. When 2 Dawn is on this Luffy, when attacking, your opponent cannot activate blockers. So basically, has a built-in Diable Jambe. Really, really strong for closing out the game. And then I have 3 copies of Roronoa Zoro from OP01, a rush character for 3 cost with 5,000 power. So ultimately, we have 16 searching characters, plus 2 Whitebeard Pirates, but I wouldn't play those. They're not going to hit very often. We've got 28 1-drops for Curly and for Zoro to pump up. We've got 11 events and 5 rush characters to really help rush the board. All right, so let's talk about those searchers for a second. Zoro gets lost a lot in the anime and in the manga, and we have to help him find his way with these searching characters. But it's important to know the card balances in your deck. So this deck actually doesn't have great card balance. Usually I would like to have 16 targets for those searching characters. That's 16 cards other than that character, right? Because Nami can only fish Straw Hats not named Nami out, and a lot of the cards function that way. So I like to have 16 valid targets. So for Curly, we have 28 targets. For Nami, we have 16. For Buggy, we have 11, and for Izo, we have 10. So if you're going to expect a character to whiff and not hit a target, it's probably going to be Izo or Buggy. It's important to know what's in your discard pile, what's in your hand, and what you've put on the bottom of your deck so you can make sure you're playing the right searcher given a choice based on what has the best odds of helping you out. You can also think about, like, well, I need a rush character, so I may as well play a Nami. Even if the odds are against me, a non-rush character doesn't win me the game, but a rush character guarantees a victory. Then you should play that Nami. Or a Curly into a Nami and fish further into your deck. So you've really got to think about what's coming up and how you're going to do that. It's really possible to chain a lot of searches in this deck, right? If you have a ton of Dawn, maybe it's turn 4 or 5 and you've lasted, you can play Buggy into a Whitebeard Pirates event, into an Izo, into a Thatch, and all of a sudden now you have 3 characters on the board and you haven't had to burn but 1 card from your original hand. That can be really strong. So think about chaining those characters. Similarly, you can do Curly into Nami, into something. Curly into Izo, into Whitebeard Pirates, into another Izo, into something. It's a bit nutty. All right, so let's talk about the event packages we have. So right now I have 11 events. That's 4 copies of Jet Pistol, 2 copies of Guard Point, 1 copy of Diable, 2 of Whitebeard Pirates, and 4 of Fire Fist. I have played around a little bit, changing the balances. For a while, I had 3 Diable and only 2 Jet Pistol, but I really liked having 8 cards that could KO a unit. It is a little bit weak against black decks. Navy has a lot of unKOable units, which can be really annoying, but it's worth it for the consistency to make sure you could defeat a blocker when you need to. Play around with the events. You might find other events that you like, especially there's an OP04 event that costs 0 and just has you discard a card to give yourself plus 3,000 power. Might be better than Guard Point, but for the most part, I'm trying to optimize around searchers and really make sure I'm able to search up enough events. So let's talk about considerations, and then we'll wrap up with a really quick discussion about what you want to see in your mulligan. There are 3 other cards that I would consider running into this deck. So as I tweak this deck throughout OP04, I'm sure the card balances will change a little bit. But here I'll go through those 3 cards and why or why not I'm including them. So first is Magra, another Mountain Bandit from OP02. A 1-cost 2,000 power unit on play up to one of your red characters with a cost of 1 gains 3,000 power. Basically, this is the Makino that you want to play because you want to hold that 2k in your hand and doesn't require an exhaust to trigger their ability. That's really, really strong, right? This makes Nami be able to swing turn 2 for 6k if you buff Zoro and play a Magra. I really like this character. If I could have more than 50 cards in my deck, this character would be in it. But right now, I'm really trying to optimize on those searchers without either dropping the Whitebeard package or dropping the event package. I didn't really find room for this character. You could consider dropping your Sanji count, but again, like I said, you want to have 16 targets, and we're already just at 16. You'd probably have to drop the Whitebeard Pirates, which means dropping Fire Fist, it means dropping Thatch, it means dropping Izo to sneak this in. The next card is Monkey D. Garp. I love this card. Again, since it's not searchable in red, mono red right now, a little bit of a downplay for me. So when attacking, play one of your red characters with a cost of 1 or more from your hand. This seems great for aggro, but it has to live a turn to attack. You have to then want to attack with it, so you need the board state to be advantageous for you attacking. And then you're only getting a discount of 1, right? So you're playing 1/1-drop, which does save you 1 Dawn, and 1 Dawn can win the game. But a lot of times when I play that character and then I'm not able to attack with it, they find a way to either remove it from the board or it sort of telegraphs what I'm going to do on my next turn too far ahead. It can be really cute with Makinos to get her on the field and then be able to use her with that other character to sneak in an extra attack when they think you're out of Dawn. But generally, it's a little bit telegraphed, so it didn't quite fit in. If it had a tag that was searchable, I'd highly consider it. And this is the one that I really struggled with. This was in my deck until about 3 or 4 days before making this video when I removed it. Instead of I don't remember what I had pulled out for Marco. I think I may have had 1 less of each searcher. I may have had 3 of each searcher and had 4 copies of Marco. Because this Marco from OP03 is hot. They are still great. It's a 5-cost character with 6,000 power, counter plus 1,000. Your turn on play, KO up to one of your opponent's characters with 3,000 power, so you get a KO on play, which is great. And on KO, you may trash 1 event card from your hand to play this character from the trash as rested. This card's really good. Don't get me wrong, especially because you have and you're searching for so many events in your deck. The problem is there were a lot of cards that just kept bouncing this to hand and playing around the KO power or sending it to bottom of deck, and it became like a tax. I had to play it every round, and then my opponent had to remove it every round, but I didn't make a lot of progress. So it didn't make too much sense in this rush style of Zoro, or this tempo or really quick game style of Zoro. But if you're going to play more of a mid-range Zoro, you could fit this in. You'd probably have to consider dropping one of your searcher packages again. So in this case, you'd probably drop the Straw Hat package. And as a Straw Hat fanboy, I wasn't allowing myself to do that. So Zoro isn't lost. He's just ahead. We're going to get to some gameplay videos here, and what I want to mention right before that is mulligan strategy. Mulligans are super, super important in One Piece, the card game. So one of the things you're going to want to do with this is you have 16 searching cards in your hand. You want to try to find 1 to 2 of them in your opening turn. I don't mind going second with this Zoro deck because a lot of times I can play an Izo and a Nami, or an Izo and a Buggy, and really set myself up to have an explosive turn 2. So think about your matchups and whether or not you want to go first or second, but for the most part, you want to mulligan and search for 2 searchers. If you have a hand with 0 searchers in it, you definitely want to throw it back. If you have a hand with 1 searcher, maybe it's a Nami, and then you have multiple Thatches in your hand or something like that, you probably don't care that much about drawing that Izo. So then maybe it doesn't matter as much. But for the most part, I try to find 2 searchers in my opening hand. So we're going to get to some gameplay videos and wrap up this deck tech. Thanks for tuning in, thanks for watching, and enjoy some more One Piece. All right, we've got our first taker. We're up against Blue Yellow Queen. Dawn ×1 when attacking if your hand and life total is 4 or less, draw 1 card. If you have an 8 or higher cost character, you may place 1 card from the top of your deck on top of your life instead of drawing a card. Okay. This is definitely a mulligan hand for us. They chose to go second. We've got 1 searcher, so that's okay. And we hit a Thatch. Nice. That's it for us. And with only 4 life, we need to burn them down fast. Alright, let's play a Thatch. Let's play an Izu. Grab another Thatch. And I think we just play him. Right? Swing for 5, let him pitch if he wants to. Okay. Alright, pitching 2Ks into 5K attacks. That feels good. Alright. We get a blocker down. We've got pretty good answers to blockers in our deck, but not in our current hand, unfortunately. That's really cute. Lets Queen seed their life. That's nice. Next turn, I think we're just dawning up and swinging in. Gonna get hit for 6K. We'll take it. We get another Thatch. Okay. Let's play a Nani. Grab a Zoro. And let's just start swinging for 5s. More 2Ks going down the drain. That feels good. Finally got one to land. All right. Wait, what happened? Oh, brutal. Brutal. We hit a 3,000 worlds. 11K into face. I'll take it. Let's see what we get here. We get a buggy. Let's use buggy to grab a jet pistol. I think we throw down another Thatch on top of Nami. All right, here we goes. We haven't had to do any of our event shenanigans in this one yet, but hopefully soon. Hopefully soon. Ooh, nice. So they just put a buggy into life. No blocker. I think we can get around that. This thing's an 8K. That feels pretty good. I think we just get rid of it. Just drain the hand. Man, those 3,000 worlds. Do I do it? I think I do it. It's going to either drain a 2K or end the game for us, right? We did it. All right. GG's. Game 1. All right, game 2 is against Blue Crocodile. We're going to go second. We want to hit 2 searchers. We hit 1. I think I'm going to mulligan, hoping for 2. We hit a curly. That's okay. We've got a Fire Fist in hand. We're up against Blue Croc. Blue's actually surprisingly strong against red aggro, so we'll see what happens here. I think I'm still okay playing a curly and grabbing a Nami. Ending my turn. No, really end my turn. Okay. So on 4, we're likely going to play Sanji and Nami and Buggy, but we'll see what comes out. That could be a thing we want to get rid of. Okay, we've got Notama. I'd rather they get to have one Pacifista out first. And then we'll worry about that. So I think we're going to do our original plan of grab all the things. Have a really big hand here. We're going to put one on Zoro and swing in. And we did that because we know Fire Fist is going to be able to take out Sentamaru here with its second. So if they go and grab something, we can probably kill that too. Especially with the Notama. Yeah. That feels pretty good. Let's take it. Oh. No trigger. Okay. So let's play that with this. Oh, cancel. No! No, 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 no. Ah, I meant to play Otama first. What have I done? What have I done? Derp-de-derp. That was not my plan. See if they hit any triggers. We can still recover from this, but yeah, we needed to play Otama first, target Pacifista, and just really make them hate their life. But instead, we threw away 2 events and paid 3 Dawn for nothing. Not ideal. Surprisingly, we're still in this, but I'm not super happy with that. Yeah, we're going to lose bodies now. So now we're going to do our combo that we meant to do last time. To clear the board. Brutal that we didn't do that last turn. That's okay. It's okay. Still sitting pretty happy. Not as happy as we could be, you know, but happy nonetheless. I'm getting rid of what, 2 Kayas? Yeah. Blue is always tricky. Not worth saving. Oh, we could with a Makino and a Nami, but just not going to get us there with those 2. Alright, we got a return 1 event from your trash. So what would they grab here? Gum Gum or Red Rock, huh? Just gotta start swinging. That Red Rock's back in their hand, right? So we know Zoro's not long for this world. So Makino turns into a pseudo blocker, because if they don't attack her, she's just going to keep pumping Nami's up days for days. All right. Sasaki. Mulligan. That's a pretty nice card. We're still in it, and we got a Luffy to get around a blocker. Gonna hit the Makino, okay. I'm guessing the red rock's gonna hit the Zoro. But he knows I have a Luffy, so I don't know if he wants to do that. Gonna play Crocodile. Okay. Okay. I respect that. If we drew Jambe here, may end the game. Returning a Nami, huh? It's basically exactly what we wanted. There should be no events there. Okay. We've got a level of Mallow. Can return that Mellowed hand. 2 cards there are dead now. And I think we just swing with Weenie Nami to draw something out. Not play a Makino yet. Okay. There's 2 events in hand. One is Red Rock, one is Love Love. Gonna hit a Nami. That's fine. Play an ulti. Trying to save 2 up for the Mallow. Giving us searchers back over and over again doesn't seem great. I mean, it seems great, but probably not what they want. Just got to keep emptying their hand. I think we might have it here, so we're going to risk it. Okay, we got it. We did it! Even with our horrible play. All right, let's get one more game in. All right, it's game 3. 3 different leaders to play against. We have Black, Yellow, Big Mom. Again, we're playing our event Zoro, 16 searchers. They don't all hit all the time. We might need to change our event balance a little bit. We got no searchers in our opening hand, so we're definitely going to mulligan. We got an Ezo, so we could pull into a Thatch, which wouldn't be the end of the world. Oh, we're going first. Never mind. Even better. Yeah, let's grab a Thatch. Return the rest to the top. I don't really want to play Zoros this early. Those are like my bombs for later. But if I'm given no choice, I'm given no choice. No, I'm just kidding. We still have choices. We can still punch a little bit here. No trigger, no trigger, no trigger, no trigger. Okay, good. All right. So next turn we could Dawn Up Zoro. We could put 3 on Izo and use Thatch's ability. And 1 more on Thatch. We get 3 6K swings. That'd be pretty sweet. I don't think we need to do that right now. Ooh, a Sanji friend. A friendly Sanji. That's okay. I think we still stick to our plan. And we swing in and try to block. Try to draw that block with Sanji. Okay. And I think we hold there, because we could use guard point to keep Izo alive if we need to, and that would set us up really well. I do like keeping it for Fire Fist. We're actually glad they didn't block with Sanji. I mean, it'd be nice, but if they play another character, we can Otama it down, kill 2 things with Fire Fist, that would feel really good. So, they have a big old hand, though. We definitely don't need them doing this. Alright, Sanji coming into Izo. Do I care? No. The answer is I do not. Alright. Big Mom coming in. We'll take 1 hit. No trigger? That feels awkward. You gonna play anything? Oh no. Cannot be KO'd by effects. I don't like that at all. No, sir. I don't know. I guess that's okay. You want to save your Sanji friend, you're really going to have to defend. Okay. We've got to get these hands somewhat even. Okay. We just Dawn up here. Go swing in for 5. Just drain a card. They might take the life to set up their ability, but I don't think that's worth it yet. Okay. It's pretty good for us. Pretty happy with this setup, other than Borsalino existing. That's kind of obnoxious right now. Yeah, black's a problem for this deck. All those can't be KO'd characters. We're up to 8, so we're almost in Big Mom range. It's dangerous. We don't really have the ability to swing super wide here either. Best thing they could... Okay. That was a big play. All right. Do we care about Thatch enough to keep them alive? Yes. I think we do. So they could swing Borsellino in, but that gives us wide board. I'm really glad they went for the little guy there and not the big one. that was pretty convenient. Okay. Do you want to save him? You do. It's a choice you're allowed to make. But how badly do you want to save him? Okay, that's what I thought. Let's hit face. And then we could swing with Otama, which I think is worth it right now. Just see what happens. Okay. Okay. 2 Fire Fists in hand. Those aren't super helpful right now. Probably drop it in... Well, we haven't seen anything that would tell us they have a 10-drop mom. But I don't know what we would see that would say that. Homies, I guess. What are we going to do? They're probably going to crash into the 2 Zoros. They can't go for life yet. They really need to take care of Makoto, though. Apparently we've got them in a quandary, just like they have us. All right. Not saving him. That extra life's kind of annoying. Where are we going? Where are we going? At Zoro. Okay. And another blocker. That's obnoxious. That's fine. Everything's fine. What does she get to grab? This? That doesn't really help me. This doesn't hurt me. I think we just get rid of the problem here. Or try to get rid of the problem. And let the blocker take it if they want. They could have enough to counter this. We've seen 2 Streusels, 2 Bege, 1 Bege. Okay, that's fine. We're not going to go in with the rest. They are saving their counters, which is understandable right now. 10-drop big moms would just eat us right now, though. That's a real problem. Isho. I was not expecting an Isho. It was brutal. But we'll see how it goes. We might make it. Ooh, what was that? A Thunderbolt. Okay, okay. Get a buggy. Okay. We get a Zoro. Okay. And they play a blocker. Oh. What do we do here? We definitely do this. We definitely do this. I think we swing. Do we just pump a little bit more? We're a 7, 8, 9. Swing into Isho. What do they think about that? I don't know what I think about it. Will VV block? No, she will not. Okay. So in that case, let's get rid of Isho. That was dumb. That was really dumb. Okay, but they didn't take the dumb way. I'm okay with that. Let's grab a jet pistol. I guess hit face. I don't love it. They've got to send VV in at Magano. Come on, Pirate at 32705. They know if they don't kill Luffy, they're in trouble. They might just have to try to kill me this turn. Which they could definitely do if they knew it was in my hand. But they don't know what's in my hand other than the pistol. They'd have to put 4 on VV for her to be able to hit, and then Big Mom could hit for 11. So if they put 5 on VV, and Big Mom hit for 10, I wouldn't be able to block nothing. Put 3 more on there, for good measure. She's going for Luffy. Okay. I'm surprisingly super okay with that. I mean, they know I have a pistol, right? Oh, okay. I see how it is. Let's get rid of that. Let's go in for 7. Let's really stick it to him and go in for 6. You gotta block. No. Okay. That's all I can do. Okay. What comes down? What could cause a problem? A board wipe. A big blocker and a Thunderbolt. No, Thunderbolt's not good enough. I mean, they definitely put 2 on and tap Zoro. We aren't close to decking anybody. This is our tensest game. I did not expect this from yellow-black, but it makes sense. Black's really strong against us, so. Switching on Dofi. Croc with the big gameplay mistake, and now we're going up against Big Mom. Okay. Kitchen table casual One Piece. That's what I play. I think we have to do that. Because if they swung 8 at us, there's nothing we could do. And now they can go up to... Oh. 6K where? That buggy. Nothing I can do about that. Okay. Let's do some maths. 7K. Nothing she can do about it. There is something she can do about it. She's a 6K. Dang it. Okay. Thank goodness. Does it have a trigger? We don't know yet. Ooh. Spice. But I don't think it's enough spice. Because Otama's a beefy little girl here, and she's going in for 10K. There's nothing you can do. GG. We did it. 3-0 today. So that is Event Zoro. I think it's pretty fun. The balances might need to tweak a little bit so your whitebeards don't whiff so much. But you're completely going in on the 1-drop game here. It's pretty fun. It's pretty fun. Yes. Beefy Otama. All right, let's try another Zoro deck next.